Hi, we're Group 1, and our names are Karishma,
Madeline, and Vanessa.
and we'll be diving into how NASA's Perseverance rover searched for evidence of past life on Mars. For some background information, on February 18th, 2021, NASA's Perseverance rover landed on Mars, and it sampled rocks in the Jezero crater to help uncover signs of past life. These rocks were analyzed in a study to prove that the iron phosphate and iron sulfide minerals found in the samples were products of redox reactions. Outcrops that were explored during this mission are collectively referred to as the Bright Angel Formation. For our first key finding, we focused on redox-driven mineral formation, where iron phosphate and iron sulfide minerals in the Bright Angel Formation likely formed through redox reactions under non-oxidizing conditions. This supports the idea that iron and sulfur cycling played a major role in how the rock's chemical composition changed over time. And this is observed in the image below by the different textures you can see in the rocks in the Bright Angel Formation. For our second key finding, we focused on environmental signs of past life, and we focused on the variations in color, grain size, and hydration that suggest that Jezero crater once experienced fluctuating redox and water conditions, leading to the creation of environments potentially favorable to microbial life. And this is observed in the image below, which scientists use to see the different color changes to visualize changes in rock chemistry, hydration, and oxidation state. And then for our third key finding, we talked about potential biosignatures preserved in minerals. Minerals containing iron and sulfur, such as vivianite and greigite, are found alongside organic matter in less oxidized zones. This suggests that redox reactions that were caused by microbial life occurred. These iron-sulfur minerals could serve as potential biosignatures, preserving signs of past microbial life or biological activity on Mars. And this is shown by the images below, including a sketch of a rock cross-section.
Now, to fully understand how these key findings were found, I will introduce the instrumentation and techniques used in this experiment. To start off, we have the RIMFAX, which stands for Radar Imager for Mars Subsurface Experiment, which uses radio waves to imagine the subsurface rock layers which rovers drove across. The RIMFAX has collected the measurements and Bright Angel's foundation that helped establish the rock formation of its surface, which is highly important because scientists were able to discover the exact location of the mudstones and rocks on Mars's surface. Their positions and formation were determined thanks to RIMFAX as well. In this study's objective, the geological history of rocks were identified with the RIMFAX with their chemical composition and conditions. And aside from the RIMFAX, the Pixel is another instrument used in this study. Standing for the Planetary Instrument for X-ray Lithochemistry, the Pixel allows for the analysis of elemental composition of Martian rocks by measuring the elemental chemistry at sub-millimeter scales. The Pixel has allowed for the elemental analysis of mudstones that include silicon, aluminum, and iron with some altered sediments, as well as the reactions found in the front cores that contain iron sulfides like greigite. The Pixel is very important due to the fact that it is able to identify redox reactions found outside of Earth and allows for biosignatures to be confirmed. This study focuses on the possibility of rocks being able to contain and preserve chemical fingerprints from different time periods. Moving on to the third instrument presented, the Sherlock was paired with Watson in this study, which allows for the analysis of the soil and rocks to determine past microbial life on Mars. Sherlock was able to identify and detect the organic carbon G band in Bright Angel's vicinity based on the Raman signatures, as well as determining that strong organic signals correspond with less oxidized rocks. This is important because of the identification of biosignatures on Mars. This study seeked signs of ancient life in Mars, which was taken with biosignature potential from the mission. And the image I provided includes how Sherlock investigates a rock surface with the use of small circular lasers to detect chemicals, minerals, and matter in the surface it's analyzing. And here I provided some images of the three instruments I talked about, which are provided by NASA to help you understand their structure and for visualization purposes.
All right, next I'll talk about the techniques and instrumentation used in the study for Mastcam-Z and SuperCam instruments. Mastcam-Z is a dual panoramic camera system mounted on the rover. Its powerful zoom capabilities capture high-resolution images of landscapes, outcrops, and geological features. They can even be color mapped to emphasize the oxidation gradients. Why it's important. Having the wide field, color, and stereo views gives scientists the depth perception that is needed for understanding the spatial relationships to map the rover's path. In relation to the study's objective, Mastcam-Z provides the context necessary for interpreting mineral and organic samples accurately. In the paper, for example, the image mosaic shows contact between the Bright Angel Formation and margin unit. Basically, Mastcam-Z paints the big picture for scientists. What it does. SuperCam is a multi-technique remote instrument that analyzes rocks and soils from a distance with laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy. It can identify elemental composition of things like iron, magnesium, and calcium. And it's important because it can remotely collect data and rapidly survey multiple outcrops. In relation to the study's objective, SuperCam helps define the mineralogical context of the outcrop and connected the chemistry of the nodules and reaction fronts to the surrounding environment. Overall, Mastcam-Z and SuperCam showed where the rocks are, what they're made of, and how the redox reactions might have shaped them. And here's a sketch of the Mastcam-Z.
And these are all of our sources we used. Thank you.